storyline are moving toward each other. And that is why the next part of the Daha 17 can become one of the strongest turning points of that the series. The previous episode did not simply leave us with another problem, it placed very simple clues to the answer he has wanted for the years, while also showing that discovering that the trust may hurt many people around him. This is where our protections began, because that the next chapter was not only answer who Ra's brother is, it may completely change that the meaning of the family for almost every major character in this story. The previous episode made it clear that Raz is becoming more determined and the more dangerous to the people who have spent years protected that old secret. His attempt to find information from the search show how close to the come of the hidden part of the past. However, hacker involvements once again proved that powerful people are standing between Ras and the trust. Hacker is not treating Ras like an ordinary teenager just asking questions. He searches has reached something that could damage that the Kyle's family in a serious way. This is important because Hackens had always presented authorities control and they believed their family problems could remain inside that the family. Ras represent that the opposite. He has spent most of his life without the protection of a powerful family, so he was very little respect for what created to the keep embarrassment hidden true. If he believed that his brother is behind this is wall, he will enter them without thinking about the well stated. Though the coincidence, the previous episode pushes him toward that the guy's villa, but emotionally it also pushes him away from his Layla. This conflict matters such as much as a mysterious Ras wants Layla beside him, but he cannot tell her everyone without risking that the investigations. Layla wants to trust him, but she is beginning to understand that his silence has become one of the relationship. The strongest he serves become it harder because for him to weak his love separated from this. Layla positions with the probably become much importance in the next phase. Until now, she has often has the catch between Ras and the world she comforts. She understands that Ras carry deep pain, but understand pain is not that the same as accepting secrecy forever. The latest event has given that the reason to the question. With her, Ras truly trusts her. The questions may become more painful than the simple jealousy or the anger. She may begin to the wonder with her she was even part of the Ras future, or the with her she has only someone he loved while continuing a separation mission alone. Ras meanwhile will probably believe that he didn't save information in the way of protected Layla. This is one of the biggest mistakes he can make. Prediction without honesty can easily feel like that the rejections. I expect that the next episode to show Layla pulling back emotionally, not because her feeling disappear, but because she wants us to prove that this is feeling are sporting by trust. She may refuse it to make things easy for him. She only watch his action more carefully and begin connected detail that she previously ignored. This can even make Layla discover part of the family secret before us is ready to explain it. This will completely change the relationship because that the conflict will no longer be about with her, she love her. It should become with her. He respect her enough to let her feel different trust beside him. Aras will likely enter that the next episode believing that he has finally reached that the last stage of his search. The trailer information showing that he has located that the house connected to his brother is extremely important for someone who has lived with uncertainty for so long. A physical place can feel almost life-proof. Until now, his brother has existed through the memories, documents, name, rumors, and the hope. A house is changing that the feeling it gives that the mysterious are real door, real rooms and the real history. I think Ras will approach that the place he will confident at first, but that the emotional impact may be much stronger than he accepts. He might notice a small object, an old photograph, a mark on the wall, or another detail that the connected that the present. With his childhood, the series does not need to immediately reveal everything. In fact, delayed that the complete answer while giving us unpredictable proof will create even stronger tensions. He may elicit that his brother really lived there, but he also discovered that the person who moved away, renamed or the deliberately hidden. This will tell us someone even more disturbing. Their separations may have been a simple result of the tragedy. Someone may have actively worked to keep them apart. The possibility could change Ra's interior view of his past for the years. He may have linked that his life from his brother because of bad luck and the peaceful corruptions. But if Daddy learned that the adult make decisions that keep Daddy brother apart, his sadness will turn into anger. His anger could become dangerous. Has almost been emotional when people he loved are the treated, and this is the older wound in his life, discovering that someone benefit from his suffering would it make very difficult for him to remain patient. Instead of slowly collecting evidence, he may begin confronting people openly. This is why his decision to stand before Hakan and admit that he is looking for his brother can become a mature turning point. Ras is basically announcing that will no longer search quietly. Hackers not know exactly what Ras want from that the moment both sides understand that the battle Ras want answer, Hakan want to protect something. The question is whether Hakan is protected that the Kai's family from Ras or whether he believes he is hiding Ras from the trust that will destroy from emotionally. Daha 17 become more interesting if Hakan is not simply hiding information for this selfish reason. A stronger story showed that his silence comes from a mixture of the guilt, fear, family loyalty, and the perhaps even and the all promise human is likely to become that the center of this mystery. The news him about his suspicion that he may have been adopted are too important to be treated as a small side story. His memory are beginning to disturb him, and that the school fire seemed capable of unlocking part of his past that was buried deep inside his mind. Trauma often returns through image rather than the complete memories, and it gives that the series and the excellent way to reveal that the trust slowly trauma may speak, smoke, someone carrying him, a frightened child, a voice, a road, or even another's boy. At first, he may not understand why any of these disease image mean. He might believe they are the nightmare created by the recent fire, but as the memories repeat, he will probably receive that they belong to the something much older. This can explain why the fire affect him so deeply. The present event is not only frighten him, it may be opening a locked door inside his mind. The possibility that the human is connected to the Raj should now be taken very seriously. The story has been bringing their part closer together in the way that feel deliberate. If the human is the needed that the brother Raj has spent years searching for, the writer has created a peaceful emotional solution between that the two boys may discover their relationship only after already forming opinion about each other. They are not stronger meeting for the first time. Their life has already crossed their friendship, conflict, loyalty, and the connection with their Kyle's family have created a history between them that make Ras has the real between far more powerful. Ras has imagined finding his brother for the air, but the real person may be very difficult from that. The person brother who excited in these examinations, imaginations human on the other hand may not have spent his life searching for the Ras at all. He may believe he already know who he is and what it the begins. Therefore, the union cannot be simple. Ras may feel immediately love because he has cried. He is the love because he is, while the woman may feel shock, fear, and even anger because identity suddenly become uncontained. This is where I think that the next episode can surprise viewer. Ras may reaches that the grand conclusions before Tioman does, but he may choose not to tell him immediately. This will be a painful reversal for Ras' usable behavior. It has been disappear for the trust, yet it could become that the person who temporarily hide that the trust when he see that the emotional damage it may cause. Imagine Ras finding evidence that strongly suggests Tioman in his brother. At the same time, Tioman is already struggling with the fire-related memories and the question about these options. Ras will understand that the simply announcing that the trust could break Tioman's sense of the safety. For perhaps that the first time Ras may understand why some people hide hidden information. He will not agree with their did, but he may begin to understand that fear from him. This will allow his character to be mature without making him weak. It is not always that the courage is not always about revealing everything immediately. Something courage means choosing that the right moment. Human emotionally journey could become even more complicated because of the Danny's connection has been growing through the difficult moment, and the Danny's appear to understand when the human is hiding fear behind anger or humor. This cool fire can deepen that the bond. Dennis may intentionally focus on helping him recover from the shock, but she may notice that his reaction is connected to the someone more than the fire itself. The woman may become distant, reckless, or the obsessive with the tale from childhood. He may start asking questions about his world or photograph medical record. or date that they do not make sense. Dennis could become that the first person to release it that it is afraid of what he may discover. This makes the relationship announcing to become more painful. Instead of using romance only for soft scenes between larger conflicts, this story can use Dennis as the person who keeps Roman emotionally guarded while his identity began to fall apart. However, Dennis may become also face that the difficult choice if he discovers someone about Roman before he does. Should she steal him immediately or investigate first? The mirror has the same problem facing Ras and create a powerful theme for the episode. Everyone may climb to want trust, but the trust becomes frightening when it begins to the someone you about care. Dennis may understand that the Romans had the right to know who is his, why she may be also fair, but that the knowledge will do to him. If she is searching for his brother and then notice similarity between our story and the Roman missing child or information, if she should become one of the first person to the connect the two mysterious. She may not have proved, but suspicion alone will change that. The way she watches him, small detail that once seemed meaningless could suddenly appear important. Human all family stories, reaction to the curtain pieces, and Hakan behavior around us could begin forming one picture. The school fire itself may also time out that to be more than one accident. The traitor focused the story on the human trauma, but Daha 17 has been building a world where personal dangers and the hidden family interests overlap. It will not be surprising if Deadly Fire becoming connected to someone trying to destroy evidence written a character or create choices. This is anything other plan happens everywhere. At the beginning, everyone may assume that the fire was simply an accident, but Charles has learned not to distract explanation. If that the timing seemed too convenient, he may investigate. Perhaps that the fire happened shortly after Tioman began getting close to the information about Sarhad to that of his past. Perhaps someone now the old school record photograph or documents were stored there. Even if the fire was not intentionally started, the writer could use it to discover a clue, making Tioman recovering memory even more important when written well. And external event like a fire does not only create action, it creates when information remain available. This would make Thomas' memory no one pieces of the evidence. No powerful family can completely control. Documents can disappear, witness can be threatened, houses can be sold, name can be changed, but a memory can suddenly return when nobody expected. Hacker may expand years, believing that the past was safely buried only to discover that the Thomas when mind is bringing it back. It becomes cool by adult around him because nervous one he starts questioning whether he was adopting. Their reactions may reveal more than their answer. The person who has nothing to hide usually responds to such a question with confusions and that the distortions. A person carrying a secret may become defensive, angry, or strangely emotional. The human is intelligent enough to notice that the difference. If he asks about adoptions and receive an answer that free reserve, he will probably become even more the suspicion. The most important movement why come when the Roman secretly began investigate his one story. Until now, Ras has been dead, the boy searching for a missing family member. The next episode may turn Roman into someone searching for the himself. The pair is important. Ras now when he but does not know whither his brother is. Humans know why he lied but may no longer throw he really is. Both are important in the opposite way. Ras has the power without a completely family. Human may have a family without a complete past. This is journey together give that this is emotional trip beyond a simple mystery reveal. If they are the brother, their union will be automatically solve their problem. Instead, it will create a new set of the questions who separated them. Was one the child beside places in one life and that the other in another. Who remains silent? What money involved when someone trying to protect our child? Did someone make that the terrible choice doing that the confession after their parents that has feeling toward that their Kaya family may become over more complicated if the answer lead directly to the them. Until now he has many reasons to distract that the family especially Hakan, but if that the brother has actually been received in or near their word, Ras will have to face an uncomfortable fact. This same family he sees and an enemy may also have give him brother a home, education, protection, stability. It does not erase any wrongdoing, but it makes that the story less simple. Ras may feel grateful and the forest at the same time. He may believe that the Germans was cared for, yet still refuses to forgive that the people who keep them apart. This conflict can strongest one of the performance in this series because Ras cannot solve it by casing one emotion. His anger and the hatred can exist together. Hakan's role will become especially interesting under their possibility. He may not deny everything when Ras confronts him in cease. He might begin asking what Ras truly wants from hiding his brother. This conflict frustrated Ras because that the answers seem obsessed to him. He wants his family back, but Hackens may understand that the feather cannot simply by the return to the condition it was in the air. Saga missing child into the growing person. Difficult relationship from reality develop. No parents and the guardian become emotionally important. If Ras believed finding his brother remain immediately rebuilding the bond they lost, it could be disappointment. Hacker may try to warn him about it, but Ras will probably hear only another excuse. This is where their conflict can become emotional intelligence. Ras may be guilty of fighting that the bus, but some of the warning may still be true. Hackens can become that the bridge between this is while she now that the Kaya family from that the inside, but she has also been Ras parent closely. If she learned that the tumor may be connected to Ras, her loyalty will be tested in the new way. She may have to decide with her to help Ras investigate people she loved. This is very difficult from the simply defecting her the boyfriend during an argument. She could discover that someone close to their participating in hiding her children's true identity. If it happens, Leila may finally understand why Ras could tell her everything earlier, yet understand that the feeling will not emotionally remove her heart. The strongest version of that the story will also about character to be right in the different whereas has the reason to protect that the investigation. Leila has the right to expect honesty from someone who claimed to trust her. I expect Leila Ras to spend part of the next chapter emotionally separated. Their scene may be quieter but more painful as he probably want to explain himself, while Leila may refuse to accept another important incomplete explanation. She may tell her through her the action that love cannot survive on the half trust because this is a prediction video rather than the dialogue. The important part is not exactly what they say, but the distance between them represent. Ras has spent years protected himself by keeping his depressive pain private. Leila is asking him to stop living that way if he wants a real relationship. When eventually someone entered the part of his life controlling by the fear and the memory. This means his serve for his brother and love for this Leila are actually connected. Finding his family will require him to learn how to trust that the family he is choosing for his future. Meanwhile, Nora's storyline may continue creating instability inside that the adult world. The recent development around her pregnancy and the painful decision connected to it have the already places emotional pressure relationship around her rather than the treating this as a separated side story. The writer could connect Nure Pain to the larger theme of the parents, children and decision made for the young's life. Does 70 repeatedly asks who has the right to decide what is the best for someone else. Adults make choices that they shape as childhood. Someone may have shaped human childhood through the adoption of secrecy. Noor has faced a painful decision involving motherhood. Their story can reflect one painful without needing to be identical. Experience may even make her react differently when the trust about trust and the humans become clear. She might understand later that the other, but the family decision made during fear or the crisis that leaves scared that remain for the heirs. Abner may also become more important as the other generation starting losing control of that the past. She has one emotional history and the recent scenes suggested that their relationship and the hidden feeling continue to affect that the present. Characters like subsums are important because they may now detail that the younger character do not release are the significance. A memory from the years earlier could become chronicles evidence. She may remember a family arriving with the chills, a sudden change in Haken's behavior, an accident, or a period when certain people disappear from the boardroom. This stop does not necessarily need Subnam to know that the interior trust. In fact, they may be more believable if similar that each now only one the PC has to assemble. This is PC himself. The structure will also explain why that the mystery has lasted so long. If one villain now everyone deliberately controlled everyone. The secret cannot feel so too simple, but if the difficult adult more separated choices during a chromatic true, each believing they were protected someone that the true becoming much more complicated when the person may have arranged audio adoptions, another pay has arranged paperwork, another may have agreed not to speak, another may have believed the brother would be safer later. Years later, nobody now how to this decision without hurting that the life building afterward. Ras entered the systems like a force nobody expected. He does not care about presenting comfortable lies because he never benefits from them. This is why his presence is so threatening. Ras has the little social power, but he has persistence. Second can close word down. Ras will find another. Someone can take sight away before he speaks, but Ras will serve for another witness. Record can disappear, yet trust can follow address. People can refuse to the answer, yet their fear itself gives information. The next episode may show us become smarter about that. The way he searches earlier emotion, often pushing him into direct confrontation. Now he may begin watching people first. If that the spot is human, he may eventually investigate date and the location before saying anything. This development will show growth. This small determined beast remember his learning that the patient can somewhere even more than the anger. Also predict I also Sarhat was rewind important even. If he is absent for much for the next episode, the effect has Ras as representative from the getting information from his means are probably now something vulnerable character who was removed before speaking usually return when that the story need a larger evil hacker may try to keep him away. But Sarhad could become frightened enough to the contract us secretly. Another possibility is that the Sarhad live between someone forcing disappear such as an address, old document, protect, photograph or the name as finding that the house is connected to his brother may come from his trail. So if that the house is probably not to the final answer, it is more door leading toward that the person who live it inside that the house Ras may find evidence that make that the human theory almost impossible to ignore. It might be someone tried to age an old childhood theme, a medical report or information about the trees being taken away after a specific event. This series should avoid making that the proof too easy. A photograph showing Tioman clearly as a child wool and that the mystery informations a more interesting clue will be incomplete but emotionally powerful. Perhaps Ras find a powerful old picture of to the young boys who one faces difficult to the see, yet a piece of floating or object matches something Tioman remembers. Perhaps a date connected with the house matching that the day Tioman was sporty adopted. Perhaps there is no difficult from the Tioman current name. The strongest clue make difficult character believe that the trust before they can prove it. When Ras lived at the houses, he may no longer be that the same person who entered it for the hair's hope. Keep him moving. House hope is the painful, but it also say because it allows imagination's real answers are difficult. If he realizes that his brother has been near him, he may gently think about all the years they lost. He may imagine birthday, school days, argument, meal, and ordinary movement they should have this share. The sadness can become much deeper than the sadness of not knowing. Before he could blame fact, now he may have the people to the blame at the same time. Human one investigations could bring him to address without either boy investigate understanding that the full picture at the first human may serve for the place for his memory and arrive somewhere Ras has been justified. He may ask questions about that the fire from his childhood only to hear that the detail connected with their family accident. Their part may continue crossing until now confidence is no longer a reasonable explanation. The titles are 17 research places that identify at the center of the story. So having two 17 years old have the link by the hidden family history that the emotional directions perfectly from my leasings. He may be a Ras brother. I do not expect not immediately happy reunion. His first feeling could be disbelief, his second could be fear. His third mind would be angers at the Ras. The anger will seem unfair, but emotionally it will make sense. Ras represent that the third that they threaten everyone. Humans now when the people receive changing information, they now drag their fear toward that the person who bring it. Human may believe Ras enter his life and destroy his pieces. He may assume himself of the caring about the people who were never his real family, even though the idea is not true. Adoption does not make love false, but a teenager discovering such a secret could easily think in extreme way before understanding that the difference between biological family and the emotional family. Aras may struggle with human reaction because he has imagined do the opposite for the years. In his mind, finding his brother probably means finally ending loneliness. He may accept his brother to feel like the same missing connection if human pushes him away. Ras could feel rejected by the very person he crosses so many difficult to find. It would be one of the main pullful traits available to the writer. Their self will technically succeed, but Ras will discover that the finding someone and rebuilding a relationship are completely difficult thing. Their disappointment could push Ras backward. Layla not in the simple romantic way, but because he will finally understand what she has been asking for him, he may realize that relationship cannot be controlled by intention alone. He needed to protect Layla, yet she felt included. He needed to find his brother and restore their bond. Yet his brother may not to be ready. Ras will have to design patience. Layla could become that the person who help him understand that the humans need time rather than the brother. If Ras truly loves his the brother, he may give him space to understand his one new identity. Layla herself stay may become more willing to stand with Ras once she that the size of the trust. Her earlier anger may soften when she realizes his secrecy come for the years of rather than lack for the love. However, I do not think the relationship should return to the normal immediately. A better decisions will show that the rebuilding trust Layla can help him without predicting nothing happen. Ras can accept for the long while also learning to share information, making decisions alone. This make a relationship development so sleeping, repeating that the cycle of the misunderstanding, separation and the reunion. Hackers may become that the main obstacle during this stage, but he may also become that the person who finally confirmed that the trust. If we understand that the Thomas memory are returning and Ras has found that the houses continue to deny everything may become impossible, he might attempt one the final solution sending Thomas away. Moving ahead against destroy record and confessing that he is following that the wrong person, but every dispute action will only increase suspicion. At same point, hacker may realize that the protected the secret is now more dangerous than relieving it. The real question will then become why the trust was hidden. My strongest prediction is that the separation was not planned from the very beginning. It likely began during a crisis after that. The death of the Ras parents. Ras was probably focused to move for decision. One brother may have planned in care while that the other ended it with someone connected to the Akaya family. Later, when opportunity existed to reunite them, fear or the self-interest may have pretended it. This explanation will allow that the story to the river flowing, doing without making every adult completely evil. There may also be another slay involved in inheritance, family reputation, or legal identity. If Ras has a brother well connected to the property, money, or the information that they threaten someone, their separation could have survived more than one promise. However, that separation worked best when emotional motives are stronger than the financial one. The story began when a young man searching for the beginning. So the final answer should stay to the family rather than become only the money conspiracy. Wilt may explain how record were controlled but love, fear, guilt and loss. Someone should explain why people made their choices. Varys and the Isni can also become more active as their circle faces greater danger. Ras has never truly been alone before that. The friendship from around him has become a second family. This is important as compared when he served for a biological brother. This is can show that the Ras already has the people choosing him every day even before he finds that the person connected to him by blood. If that the person obsessions with the humans and forget everyone else, his friend may remind him that family is also connected through the loyalty. The historians remind part of that the theme, the three to the place where us and the strongest form is the strongest bond, showing easily instruction can affect young life. To outsiders, closing that the building may seem lies and the administrative decision for the young people later living there. It means losing the only stable home they now are for his brother and that the fighting to protect that the home are therefore connected emotionally about are they refusing to let adult decision where young people blowing without listening to them. This could lead to an important change in their Ra's goal. At the start of the series, finding his brother was deeply personal. Now his experience may change him think about all the young people who lost connection because decisions are made above their head. Even after solving his worst mystery, Raz may continue fighting for the Arhans and his friend. That will present that the story from feeling finished as soon as his brother is the reveal. His personal journey can grow into something larger. Another character may have the surprise viewer is the Dennis because she is emotionally close to the Tom and she become that the person who refuses to let either family control that the situation. If Hakan asked to keep humans away from their race, he may intentionally agree out to for the fear and that illicit that hiding that the trust is hiding him more. He chooses to support human night to row where directly against powerful adults. This would give Dennis her one strong storyline instead of keeping her only as a part of a romance. Thomas' relationship with Dennis may also be tested by his identity crisis. He may pull away because he feels that everything about him is contained. If he named family history or the childhood story is the false, he could become something weaker he deserves. The relationships built around that identity. Dennis will need to make him understand that the part does not always the person he has become. She does not care for him because of a surname or official document. She cares for the person she now. She emotionally message could become one of the warmest part of the otherwise tense episode. The fire trauma may continue throughout that the episode rather than disappearing after one these scenes. Since tomorrow West experience suddenly memory threatened by the smoke, heat alarm or contained sound, this will make his investigation more difficult because he cannot fully trust whether he remember real image and the fear created by the fear. The writer will use that then certainly to the misdirect about human and the audience. One people memory may appear to the improve something only for another detail to show that he misunderstood it. Ras may become that the person who understands this is memory best. If the brothers share part of that the same childhood trauma, Ras could recognize something trauma describes. Perhaps trauma remember a song or toy or the place or the phrases connected with their earlier years. Ras might feed outside family could show that the details such a movement will be more powerful than the simple DNA test appearing immediately. Emotionally recognized can come before scientific confirmations. Eventually, of course, proof will probably be needed. A biological relationship the important could not remain. Based only on the suspicion, a DNA test may appear later, but I do not expect it to do the same focus immediately. The series can give more drama, more letting Ras and the Toman emotionally convert that the possibility first. If they believing they are the brother, the test become confrontation rather than the interior story. A second major danger may appear because someone notices how close Ras has become that the trust. The more meteor disappear that the secret keeper become that the greater has the changing of a reckless plan. Ras could be followed after leaving that the house. Someone may attempt to steal that the evidence he find human could be the player keep away from him. Leila may even become a target because people from there are deeply about her. The danger will force Ras to the choice between continue that the investigation immediately protected someone he loved. The choice is directly connected with the previous episode emotionally conflict. Ras has repeatedly faced that the question of whether finding his brother justified pulling other relationship at risk. Until now, he has often choosing that the third before he leave. He cannot stop when it is in close. The next episode may finally show him changing his approach. Instead of the Leila or his friend, he may decide that finding that the trust is meaningless if everyone is love is hurt among that the way. This would mean giving up and would become smarter. Ask will smart responsibility, trust people, friend with information, every stop crying, every problem alone. This is a kind of the growth the character needs. His independence helps in survival, but independence can become isolation if he receives help forever. Boredom has sorely given relationship he never expected. The next phase may teach her that this can also mean accepting sport. The final part of the episode may probably bring that the two main mysterious together. Ras may arrive at the places searching for the brother at the same time Thomas arrives searching for his past. Nullifer expect to see that the other. The setting could be the most house, a hospital or a chief or another location connected with the childhood record. One of them may discover and the old photograph, another may hear a name. Hacker may arrive too late to stop them. The episode could end before full confirmation that the emotional trust may already be visible. Ras may look at the Tioman differently for the first time, not as a friend, rival, or the person connected to the Kaya family, but as someone who might missing part of his life. Humans could notice that they look and understand what Arasi is thinking. His first track may be rejected. He may insist through his action that the idea is impossible, yet that the return memory will prevent him from taking away completely the scared that the perfect cliffhanger because Bob Boy may want opposite seeing from the same. Trust us want confirmation, human want that be afraid of it, and behind it that their dull will see that the secret may controlling for the AS has finally accepted their control. This is why that the next stage of the Daha 17 could not be viewed only on the moment when Ras get closer to his brother. It is a moment when that the interior structures be around that the secret between before collapsing Hakan can record people, houses, record and information, but he cannot control every memory, he cannot control all determination, he cannot immediately control Lola loyalty, he cannot control Danny's concern for the Tioman. More importantly, he cannot control when the Tiomans began. Remembering about himself, the biggest prediction for his action is therefore clear, as he is almost uncertainly going to discover evidence strong enough to the connected Tioman directly with his missing brother, but that the complete union will probably be delayed because Tioman is not emotionally ready to concern that the record. The writer can use the delay to create similar episode of the powerful drama. Ras will have to prove that the connection. The woman will have to decide what family mean to the him. Ras will hacken to the explain why the deep trust was the hidden. Stella will have to choose how deeply she is willing to enter Ras painful family histories. Destin will have to the help Tioman understand that learning a new trust about his world does not erase that the life he already lived. This story may also reveal that Ras has misunderstood one important detail. Tioman might not have been completely abandoned. Someone may have tried to renege that the brother heirs ego and the fail. Perhaps later was the same but never delivered. Perhaps someone at the urgence now another family member was looking for their Ras. The kind of the revelation will depend that the mysterious rather than the simply closing it. If it happens, Ras anger may move away from a person and toward a change of the decision. He could learn that no simple individual case, all of his suffering is fear, violence, silence, and the bad timing were together. This is a more realistic kind of the tragedy. People can destroy life without beginning with the intention to be cruel. The importance of the episode titles number is also worth considering is the prediction video. By this point is the first sections written normally began paying off of suffering introduced at the beginning. That 17 has spent enough time established Rasar, the Kaya family, Leila, Tiom and Dennis and the hidden past. Now viewers need meaningful answer. The traitor strongly suggested that this is answer are the family belonging to their lives. Still, I do not think the writer will reveal every detail in one episode. The identity of the brother may become almost contained, but that the reason for the separation could remain hidden. That gives that this series a new central question. The first question was about Ra's brother is. The next question can become about why the brother were kept apart. The second mysterious may be even more dangerous because it points directly toward that the adult. Finally, Thomas does not end the Ras investigation. It gives them a reason to investigate harder. The relationship between Ras and the Hakan could then become that the central conflict of the following chapters. Hakan may try to there are that some trust could remain buried. Ras will reject that the idea because buried trust is exactly what told there for him. Their disagreement will come more than the personal anger. It will become to completely difficult belief about the family. Hakan believe family survive by controlling painful information. Ras become family can only be real when people now that they trust. Leila wills now as somewhere between this is belief. Some understand why the family cause something protects secret, but she has experienced that the damage secrecy cases his final choices may be in Hakan toward confession. Leila tell him that she cannot spot a family buried on the lie. He may listen his the silence. He's closing him to the people he wanted to the protect. Thomas Masso's sport consists of being grateful for the protection. He may feel betrayed. Adults often believe feeding painful information protect children, but when these children become older, but they see that the secrecy has if the Thomas may feel that the heirs of his personal history were taken from him. He made damage to know his original name when he was born, who is the present whence and why Aras remained in ignorance while he lived another life. The question could destroy Aras emotionally as well. Why did she brother receive a home while that the other remained behave? Even if nobody immediately crossed between them, Ras may still struggle with jealousy. This is a difficult but the result emotion, but she loved his brother and still pain when feeling everything his brother had. Our room, family photographs, school memories, holiday, and the people who care for him could remind us for what he makes. Jomoran together may feel guilty for these things. He look like at their us and believe if someone stated that the life his brother deserved even if he only a child and have no choices. This gives about character emotional wound that cannot be solved by a single hug. The eventual brotherhood will therefore need to be buried in the present rather than they recover perfectly from that the past. They cannot get their childhood back, they can only decide whether to create a relationship now. This is the heart of where the 17 seemed to be heading. The series may begin with a search for someone who was lost, but its deeper message is about young people deciding where they belong after adults have they changed their life without asking him. Rasyoman, Leila, Dennis and the other are moving from the childhood into adulthood. While carrying decisions made by the other generation, the next episode can bring these decisions into direct conflict. Ras will no longer accept silence. Yoman will no longer accept an incomplete story about himself. Zela will no longer accept love without her. Dennis will no longer accept watching Yoman suffering while everyone avoid difficult answer. Hakan will face forcing that the result of the believing that controlling information could control that the future, and what that is where the next episode may become more emotional than the viewer accepted that the bigger show may not be discovering who is the brother is. Many viewer may already suspended that the answer. The real shocks will be discovering what everyone did after they know that the trust if Roman is the confirmed as the missing brother. The audience will immediately begin looking backward at everything between them and Ras movement that they often seem ordinary which suddenly has another missing. Their argument and expecting meetings, straight insights and the emotional reaction may look like signs that the story was regarding them toward each other from that the beginning. This is exactly the kind of the rival that can make earlier episodes feel more powerful instead of making them the. My prediction is that the episode will end with Raj gaining that the strongest crew he has never ended. He may not yet have the official proof, but he will become concerned that the Tioman is connected to the family. Tioman will remember something from childhood that the inscribed Raj or a detail only Raj can recognize. Nulfer boys will be able to return that the normal life other that after the moment. Second reaction will confirm that they are close to the trust even if he refuses to speak. Sela will understand that trust searches has finally reaching the center of our family. While Dennis will receive that the Tioman need her more than the ever, and the next day will bring with a completely different question. Ras has spent asking where his brother is. Very soon he may finally know, but now he will reveal faces he never prepared for. Have do you becomes brother after growing up as a stronger? The questions can carry the 17 far beyond that the mystery itself. Ras may discover that love cannot replace his lost hair, but it can create new ones. Homer may answer that they have family history does not force him to erase either one. Leila may learn that this standing beside trust means accepting that the difficult trust as well as the romantic moment. Dennis may learn that the supporting someone connected latent than the facing pain rather than the building it from it. The elder generation will have a harder lesson. Secret can delay consequence, but they cannot permanently remove them. Everyone suggested that the consequence is not arriving. The house Ras have found is not simply another location in his investigation. Symbolically, it represents that the other two, the life his brother life without him. The moment Ras entered that the world, this search changing is no longer casting a shadow. It is walking through proof that another life existed beside his. The one human question about adoption is equally important. His beginning his one search at exactly that the moment Ras is nearing that the end of his visit to the journey are moving toward that the same point. One boy is looking for a brother, the other is looking for his real beginning. If this is searching me that the interior story changing for that the reason I expect that the coming episode to focus less on the random twists and more emotional discovery. There will still be danger, confrontation, attempt to stop Ras, but that the strongest scene will probably come from that the character realizing that the path they believe was finishing is not shaping every choice they made. Ras may finally understand that fighting there his brother will not automatically remove that the loneliness inside him. Tuaman may understand that discovering that the trust will not automatically tell him where he belongs. Leila may understand that loving Ras required patience with wanted that the exact long before she made it. Hacker may understand that protected a family that the lies can eventually before that the thing that destroy it the trust. And viewer may understand that these 17 are never only about one missing brother. It is about young people trying to rebuild honest life from the incomplete history. At this section closes that the strongest prediction remind that the connection between us and the Romans will move from authority toward near confrontation. This series has brought them to the close spaces to many questions about Roman childhood and pushing us to deeply into their chaos family. Secret for that the story to remain separated much longer. The fire has the second human memory. The old homes has brought us physically closer to the brother past. Second is being focused into direct confrontation. Sela is demanding trust. All four movement point toward that the same destination. But instead of the giving grass that this peaceful union, he imagined that the trust may open that the most important emotional conflict of his life. He may find that the brother he lost and discover that the person standing in front of him does not know how to be his brother. Tioman may discover that the stranger who has repeatedly destroyed that the Kaya family pieces is exactly that the person who has been looking for him since childhood. Hacker may watch that the secret he protected for the air's collapse in the single moment. Sela may recognize that the conflict between Ras and her movement was connected to someone far deeper than she ever understood. Dennis may become that the only person capable of the helping Thomas remain calm when his interior identity changed. And just what it seemed that the trust had finally arrived, a new secret that they appear concerning why the brothers were separated in the first place. This is where the 17 can make its next move. Instead of ending there, the mysterious the brother rival can transform it. The stories can move from searching for the missing person into exposing that the decision that created two completely difficult liars has the cross border challenging powerful people, risking their relationship and refusing to stop because when the childhood promise remains stronger that every warning around him. He believed that someone there was a person connected to the life he lost. Now that the person may be standing much closer than he never imagined, the trust is no longer someone far away, it is inside that the people already surrounding him. At once I'll finally see it, there will be no safe way from anyone to return to the life they had before. In the next episode of Dice 17, the story can move into the completely difficult emotional direction because Ras is no longer searching for a nameless shadow from his childhood. He now has this stronger trail connected with the damaged the brother he has spent years trying to find until this point has been arrived because he believed one day his soul would land somewhere. They were very movement but that the people around him wanting him to stop. Many moments when that the clue disappeared. Memory moment when painful people made him feel that he was fighting a battle he never win. Yet every failed attempt only people more determined. The previous event showing that they're willing to enter that the Kaya family would because that they believe the answer to his past was hidden there. The decision damaged that the trust between him and Leila and the Chris second toward him. Now Rasi is reaching somewhere far more important than another argument or another document. He is reaching a place where damaged one's life. For Arazis is almost like interior that the life has been brother experience without him. The buildings may look ordinary to everyone else, but for their Ras, every room can contain a piece of his childhood that disappeared from his one life. The previous episode left Ras in a difficult position. He wanted answer from the Sahar, but Akan presented him from getting that the full trust. This was an important movement because it showed Ras that he could no longer depend on the people blinking, helping him. Every person who now someone see afraid of another person and every road seemed to lead back to the same powerful circle. Ras is now starting to understand that the mystery of the damage is not only a sad story about two brothers who was separated. There appeared to be a reason why information has been hidden, separated. Somebody decided that the Ras should not know everything. Somebody may also decide that the damage should lie without knowing Ras. The changing that the meaning of the whole search. Ras is no longer only trying to locate that the missing person. He is trying to understand who changed that the direction of the children's life. and why this is movement continue hiding that the trust of many far away areas. This is why finding Damit's old home can become much more important than the simply finding and the address. It can be first places where are discovered evidence that cannot explain be easily away. My prediction is that the rats will enter that the place expected are great dangerous, but within safe and several confessing piecing of information he may discover proof that the Damir was there, but that the Damir not was that the story he has been told. Perhaps Damir lived there under another name, perhaps someone registered him as a part of another family. Perhaps that the people living another nearby remember a boy but remembers adult telling a completely difficult stories about where it comes from. Ras may speak with an old neighbor, a shopkeeper or a former worker or someone who remembered that the family that once lived there. The person may be now that the full trust, but when small memory could be enough to the change. Ras decisions. Ras has become very good at understanding when people are leaving something cut out. He will probably listen carefully to detail that every character would ignore a date, a surname, a description for a child, or that the name of a hospital could become that the next major influences of giving him big and that the information could make him more suspicious because it may cannot damage history even more closer to people Ras already now. The stronger possibility is that they Ras discovered that the damage was not taken far away about their separation. They would be emotionally devastated from him. He may imagine his brother somewhere beyond his reaches, perhaps in another city or someone completely removed from his one. Learning that the Damir was has spent year close to the people Ras has recently made create a difficult kind of the pains. Distance is easier to the forgive because distance can be blamed on the corruption. Being closer without knowing create question that they much harder to the escape. Ras immediately wonder which someone could have ruined them. Earlier he would ask himself how many times he may pass now that the places where his brother lived without realizing it. He could even be remembering something from the recent week and the wonder whether he can only look at the damage without recognizing it. The possibility could create an emotional change in their eyes. He should world return become more the personal, more urgent, but also more frequent because he is finally close enough to the lost hope in a new way. At the same time, Thomas' story is moving toward a crisis of the identity. The fire has affected him far more deeply than that the people around him that she expected. This reaction appears connected to into something hidden connected with this something hidden inside, and that is why that the suspicion about being adopting is so important. A young person can accept many strange details about childhood without questioning them because family stories are usually trusted without proof, but one can memory become uncertain, every memory become to the look difficult. Thomas may start looking at the childhood photograph and asking why they are gap. He may elicit their new picture from his earlier year. He may ask why the date was never discussed. He may notice that the stories about his world change depending on where tell him. A detail can seem unimportant can suddenly become impossible to ignore. The fire may act like a kid that opened a locked bat of his mind. He may remember fresh smoke, adult shouting, and the child crying or someone taking him away from a place he once. Now, your mind will probably struggle to decide whether they are the real memories and continually can make him see, especially emotion. They may believe on the moment that he has discovered something real and that convinces himself that he is not only confused because of the shock of the recent fire. The people around him any courage to instead of asking questions, but that the advice could make his suspicions stronger if Tioman feels that his family is trying too hard to stop him from remembering. He will naturally wonder when they are fair. He is not that the kind of the character who can easily ignore something when he believes he has found a hidden trust. The more people avoid his the question, the more he will investigate. This means that the Ras and the Tioman can now be following to the separated tale toward that the some secret. Ras is searching outside himself through houses witness and the record. Tioman is searching inside himself through the memory. When this is searches made between of this his life can change at the same time. Subnum rule may because that the more revealing part of the next episode her effort to protect her son suggested that she now more than she wanted Tioman to the discover. Protections can make many managing. She may has participating in hiding that the trust, or she may become now that the happening or believing Tioman is safer without knowing. The important question is not only whether Tioman was adopted. The real question was happening before that the adoption and why that the past has remained so dangerous. If Sabnam's now Tioman's biological history, she may have spent her hoping that the past will never return. She could love him as never seen, but also crying fear that one day somebody will appear and take away that the emotional family she built. This take her behavior which more understandable even if keeping that the secret was wrong. She may see Raz not only as a teenager looking for his brother but as the threat to the stability of the human interior life. Sabnam could therefore make a disappear mistake. She may try to destroy and the old document contract a person from that the past or confront Sasson to the stop Raz before he reaches the woman. Such and the actions would probably have to the secret facts secret in the death 17 become larger every time someone tried to bury them. If Sabnam suddenly becomes service arrived to a man, he will notice if she refuses to answer simple question about his childhood. He may become more conflicting that something is wrong if he are Danny to keep him from the way. Dennis may begin asking questions too. The attempt to the protect humans can create that the exact location of fear because more young people will smart work together to understand why that the adult are the hiding. Dennis can become extremely important here. Humans may become toward her when he feels because she gives birth something that the adult around him cannot give him. A relationship without a hidden history. Dennis now human as if he is now. She does not now to the defect decision made years ago. They allow him to be more open with her. He may tell her that his memory no longer makes sense. He may share. He feared that the people he called family are not telling him everything. Dennis will probably try to decline him, but she also understands that the predicted that the problem does not exist will not help. Instead of giving him an easy answer, she may supporting him while he searching for the real information that this can open that the relationship between Dennis and the Thomas without turning that the story into simple romance. Their connections can become about trust at the exact moment Homer feels that someone has lied to him. Dennis may be that the only person this is will be believe because she has controlling nothing to the game from controlling his past. She remind him that with her discover about that the world does not change that the person he has become. At the same time, she cannot promise that the trust will be painful. If Roman discovers that his childhood identified as the buried around a secret, he will need someone he will stay to the beside him when he is angry, confused and afraid, and is likely to become that the person whoever may intentionally misunderstood and is closer to the Tioman if he starts suggested that the Tioman is connected with the damage. He could worry that the Dennis will accidentally warn people before they have enough proof. Ras has learned to be careful because almost every time she shares information something interfere will be searching. They may ask him to into near discovery private yet keeping information private. It also damage his relationship with this Leila. Ras is therefore trapped in a pattern. He hated that the adult for hiding that the trust, but he is increasing hiding trust himself because he believes secrecy is necessary to protect people and protect his investigation. The contradiction can become a major part of his development. Sela can force us to see this contradiction. The previous event has already damaged her trust because she learned that the Ras has keeping important for her. She does not simply want him to state that she loves her. She wants to know with her she is truly part of his life. If Ras again discovers something mature and they refuse to share it, Leila may decide that feeling alone are not enough. She could step away even while she is still deeply about him. This is important because the relationship cannot grow if that the person keep making every major decision alone. Leila may believe that there are things is protected her, but she may understand that he is denying her that the choice to whether they want to face danger beside him. The next episode may therefore show a colder period between Ras and this Leila. They may turn physically close because their life continue crossing, but emotionally there will be distance. Leila may watch him disappear to investigate Damir past, understand that he is still not ready to tell her everything. Ras may want to explain but stop himself because that the trust now Singh connected her with family. She could fear that the telling Leila will force her to choosing between them and their guys before he had complete proof. From this point of view, silence may appear kind. From Leila's point of view, it may feel like another betrayal, but the feeling can be understandable. She made that the conflict stronger. If Ras discovered evidence connected Damir with the Tiomas, her insist may be it hidden from Stella. He could believe that the Tioma identity is too serious to discuss before he has confirmation. Yet Leila is intelligent. She may begin connected that the true herself. She now that the hacker behave with her. She mentioned his brother. She can see her the nervous system become around questions about Tioman childhood. She may notice that the Tioman himself is suddenly asking whether he was adopted. This species could make her reach that the same possibility without Ras telling her. If that the happen, Ras will lose control of that the secret, and Leila may comfort him not because he was wrong to investigate, but because he again decided alone when she was alone to now hacker position become more dangerous. With every new clue, he has been able to use authority and control to keep away Aras from the curtain people, but physically control cannot stop memory on the curiosity. Hesker may elicit that the Tioman is now becoming a bigger problem than the Aras because Tioman has access to the family from inside. Ras can finally be removed from a house's written or the watches. Your man cannot be treated as an outsider so easily. If he started opening drivers checking or paper asking about his belt and connected people now that the family years ago, the secret can collapse from inside that the Kaya world. They may fall second and the Subnam into conflict. They should agree that the romance should not now that the trust but disagree about handle to him. Subnam may want him protect emotionally and avoid frighten him. Hacker may take a harder approach and focus on the stopping Ras. If Hacker believing Ras is the reason romance is questioning that the past. He may blame everything on their ass and trying to remove him from the boardroom, but this would be a mistake because human returning are the already returning. Even if there are disappeared tomorrow that the question will remain, it is also a strongest possibility that the hacker is not the person who originally created that the secret. He may have clarified it later and decided to protect it. The restrictions matter because it trained how we understand his behavior. Hacker may have inherited a problem from another generation. He might believe that relieving that the trust now will pushing people who had no role to the original decision. If humans has the life decision happily as a part of the family for the years, hacker may see Sarah searching as something that can destroy that the happiness. From hacker perspective, he may believe he is protected that the present from the past. Ras, however, he see that the situation completely differently. For him that the present was stealing his relationship with his brother. This will conflict can make that the story much stronger than the simply making Hakan a villain. Ras has a fight to now his the brother. Tioman has to die to now his one history. Sabnam has the genuine love for the boy she rises. Hakan may fear that the emotional destruction that the trust. Cool case, Leila can also be care about side. Dennis may want only to amend to the stop suffering. Every character can also be enable emotional position even though that the reading trust mind and fear. The name Dami now give her searching another level of the loyalty. Ras may repeat that the name in his mind while returning that the old home. He could try to imagine when Demi looked like when he lived there. He may wonder whether Demi remembered to him. Ascarius perhaps has he spent clear memory to his brother while Demi was too young or too they remembered the same thing. The difference can become very painful if Tioman is exactly connected is the damage as my recognition that never come. A forgotten childhood memory could become that the more powerful clue. As may remember something only he and Damir will know. If he does not need to a dramatic secret, small memories are often stronger because they feel real. Perhaps they had a game they play, a name of a toy, or simple habit, or a simple song family. Romance may suddenly remember that the same detail without understanding why. Ras could hear about that the memory and immediately receive that no document is needed to tell him what it means emotionally. However, that the writers may even deliberately create doubt before giving confrontations. Humans may appear to be damaged, but there could be another explanations. Perhaps humans live in these small places as a damage. Perhaps that the boy were together during part of his childhood. Perhaps trauma is connected with the witness something that the happening to damage rather than the being damaged himself. The alternative will allow that the series to keep viewer entertained while still bringing that the character together. A strong prediction must therefore consider about possibility. The first possibility is that the Tioman is exactly damaged and have losing a different identity since childhood. The second is that the Thomas know something about the Demi because their childhood part close. About possibility explain why his memories are becoming important. Exactly what Ras reaches Demi's old home, but that the emotional reaction of that the official story strongly suggested that the Thomas Pan and the Ras searching are no separate coincidence. Ras, if the Thomas not immediately rival has the damage, he will probably become that the person who take Ras directly to his brothers. If Thomas is the damage, Sabnam fair because easy to understand. She may worry that the Thomas will become his interior life with her was full. She could be afraid that one will have that the moment he discover a biological brother. Parents who hide adoption something can convince themselves they secretly protect that the child, but that the security can later damage trust more than the adoption itself. Omar may not be angry because he was adopted. He may be angry because people he trusted did not allow her to his one story. Sabna may try to explain that she always loved him. As her real, she's feeling could be completely secure, but the Thomas may not be ready to hear. If when identity changes suddenly, he look my for something to the blame. He may see every childhood memory differently. Birthday, school record, family photograph, and the story told at the dinner table suddenly feel uncertain. He may begin asking which part of that the life were true and which part were created to hide his part. Dennis will need to help him separate love from the secrecy. They feel that the adult information does not mean every loving moment was fake. Sabnam action can be wrong while her feeling remain real. Thomas may eventually understand this, but also immediately in the next episode, Shock will probably be stronger than the understanding. Ras also have the difficulty show patience are searching for so long he may feel that he has earned the right to finally have his brother beside him, but Thomas if his damage not will have experienced that the same search he did not spend every year imagine Saruni and he may be completely unprepared for us to suddenly climb such as important places in his life. Raskul approaching him with emotion while Tiyoma responds with the distance. This can hurt Raskul deeply that and three from the enemies are easy for us to understand. Rejection from that the brother would be different. He may ask himself why he spent so much of his life searching for himself who did not seem happy to be found for a short time. He could become angry and tell himself that this was a mistake, but this reaction will probably come from pain rather than a true desire to leave. Leila could become that the person who helped us understand human reaction. Even if Ras and this Leila are still having problems, she may recognize that the Ras is about to make another emotional mistake by expecting too much too quickly. She may remind him through the action that the trust take time. Ras did not immediately trust Leila when they met. Why should Thomas immediately trust a completely new version of his one life? The realization will allow Ras to the maturities of the demanding a relationship with his brother. He could decide to remain available and the wait he may tell Thomas his brother that he is not take two away his existing family. He only wanted the changing to now him. The difference will be extremely important. Yomam affair that the exact Ras mean rejecting Sabnam. Ras can show him that the family does not have to work, that the wave to Oman is not damaged but instead carries a memory connected with him. These stories will take another exciting part. His adoptions will still be real, and the boy may have spent time together in the same installations or the houses where their young Tom may remember another child will disappear. His memory of the fire or the fear and lead to the one that separated them from everyone else. In that the Vision Roman become that the mission witness has annoying being searching for the possibility may be used as the temporary twist. Ras could become convinced Roman is the damage only for the document to prove his age or blood type do not match. Ras will feel crushes but Roman newly recover memory could then reveal when the real damage was the taken. Such a twist will keep that the mysteries alive while keeping Thomas central to solving it. This is also that the question so why that the name Damage seed to have that disappear from that the life. Ras can suddenly see if Damage grow up someone else. She has name changed officially. What is changed that the protected him when he placed under another identity. After has an accident, did he suffer memory loss or did somebody deliberately create new record? Each possibility has a different consequence. A legal adoptions will probably leave a record even if their protected rights may therefore eventually need help from someone who has access to told. While they could introduce a new adult character or bring an existing major character back into the story. A nurse, social worker, school employee, or former orphanage worker might remember the case. Ras may discover that the brother was originally supposed to remain together but was separated because of an emergency. This will create as and guilt among that the adult involves. Perhaps someone promised to reunite them later that never did. Perhaps when the child becomes sick and was moves. Perhaps financial problem made it impossible for one household to care for the board. The original separations might have begun even intention while later security made that the situation worse. It is the kind of this layer explanation that the 17 can use effectively. The mysterious does not need one. The person who helping everything from that the start real family secret often grow for the similar decision when the person has something to prevent immediately pain. Another person continue the lie because the living it become harder with the time. A third person the fact that the secret because children are now older and relationship has the changed after many years. Nobody know how to feel that the trust without destroying something. Ras entered that this situation without caring about the presences. This is all agreement. He was the child was suffering because of them. This is why that the adult may see him as a danger. She has no reason to protect that the confrontations lie buried from his loss. The old houses can also remove surprising about their parents. Until now, his memory of his family may have been limited by an age when everything happened. He could discover that his parents were connected with their guys in the way he never knew. This would explain why every clue seemed to return to the same people. Perhaps that the family were together, sleep each other, or the places are serious even before that the children were separated. If Ras learned that the icon now is the personality. The confrontations between them will become more intense. Ras will no longer accept her answer. He will understand that Hakan has no longer simply heard that the story about the damage. She has been part of the history alone. Hakan may finally admit one pieces of the trust while continue to hide the other. This will be a clear way to the move that the story forward without reliving everything. It will confirm that the damage survived that the original tragedy but refuses to say what happened next. Rasma, I think this is a victory at first because survival is the important information he has wanted. Then he will release his second stills now where that the trails lead every pattern confessions as more determined. He also becoming willing to the trust Hakan because he understands that the trust only appear when Hakan has no other choice. Ras could start recording information, making copy of the document or sharing evidence with a friend so it can be destroyed. This will show that the Ras has learned from the earlier mistake. He often rushes into danger because he believed determination was enough. Now he can become more careful. Fighting damage is so important to the race, losing every crew through one the angry confrontation. His friends may help with his, but the young people from that the earth understands better that the most when family separation can mean they do not have access to the Hakan world, but they now ras and can recognize why his obsession is becoming dangerous. One of him may insist on the going with him. Another could skip watches that the evidence. Another may watch that the Akai's house why Ras followed that the species lead. This spot can Ras remind of the something he often forget. He already has the form of family damage him deeply, but his the life is not empty while he searches the friend who stand beside him as enough brother and sister through the experience. If ignored them because he focused only on the blood family, he could hurt that the people person who has choosing him again and again. The situation can therefore continue influencing that the main story. The future may still be uncontained and as may be focused to divide it that is the tension between his personal attack and protected that the place his different calls on. It gives that the difficult choices he may finally have that the stronger damage clue of his life at the same time his friend needed him for another crisis. Earlier smart fight have immediately trusted to the damage trail. Now he made to do about they can grow. He is learning that the finding the family he lost should be required abandon that the family he found. Sela may notice that this changing before Ras does. Even while agree with him, she can see when he chooses the responsibility over influence. They could solve resolving her the trust. There should not happen that one romantic moment. It should happen when because proof this is several choices he is ready to the stopping shutting Leila out. Leila may also begin investigating her one family. She could quietly people about damage without telling us. It will help in an investigation position because she will using that their kind of family sees against that the secret. She may search or photograph, ask about the as nobody discusses or notice that the woman entered that the family story rather than she has always believed. If Leila finds something first, she have to decide whether to immediately tell the mirror as one diploma and could make her understand this fear. She may suddenly hold information that they could destroy Thomas while the decision no longer looks simple when the trust in her head mind. He could identity keep that the clue for a few hours but trying to comfort his as may discover this and accusing her of doing exactly when he hated for him. The conflict will be interesting because Bob will finally understand that the other side is easy to recognize until telling the trust can hurt something you love. Their relationship may become stronger after this because they can finally speak from the equal experience existing of the person hiding and that the other demanding answer. Both will understand that responsibility that they come with the knowledge. They may agree that from that the party they will investigate together. Their partnership could make you once more the nervous as arousal difficult to the control as with Zela knowledge for the family is far more the danger. Second may want Zela that she does not understand why she is risking. She could lose trust in the relative she has now all of its life, yet Leila may decide that the protected ally is the worst. Sabna may view Leila involvement as the betrayal if Roman is her son. She may believe Leila is helping us stronger destroy his life. This can create a stronger family conflict between that the woman. Leila may insist that the Thomas deserve that the trust. Abna may believing that the trust is being trusted like the abstinence side of which she is the one who will lose her the son. This is where that the story can show that the Sabnam is not simply afraid of being exposing. She may be terrified of losing Thomas' love. She could help be raises him from a very young age and build her the identity about her being mother. The possibility at transporting at the biological family may weaken her fear. She has cried since he adopted. If she her strongest mistake will be believing love may must be explosive. She may think Thomas can either remind her son and become Ara's brother when she exactly be about. He attempt to force him to the choices can push him away more than the trust itself. Dennis may recognize him before everyone else. She can tell from Thomas' behavior that he does not want to lose that the family he now. He only wants to the understand that the family he lost. Dennis may quietly encourage Sabnam to the stop fighting that the trust have through the Sabnam may lost be ready to the listen. The human emotional state could become unstable as the memory return. He might have the terrible sleeping. He may return to the area of the fire and search all places alone. He may become places over small things, places because his mind is crying a larger fear. Dennis will understand that the anger is not really about this small situation one the night or the earlier morning. Torment may become reminding a scene from the childhood more clearly. He could see both brothers together. Perhaps he cannot see that the young faces, but he remember a name being called. If the name is raised by the interior mysterious training and Stanley, Torment may not tell everyone at the first. He could be frightened it the idea that his the memories connection him with their Aras. He might begin watching Aras from a distance, comparing his one memory with their Aras story. This will create a similar quiet scene where economists study Aras behavior. He may notice a serious that they feel familiar. Ras may do something with his hand, react to the particular song, or using has the expression that touches and your memory in the term. And this is small sign can be more emotionally confessing that the immediately specific proof. Ras may notice Yoman believing the tragedy but understanding that the reason they should think Yoman is the helping Rahakan watches him, their tension may increase before they understand that the trust eventually they may crash. Yoman could damage to know exactly what Ras remember about the damage. Ras surprised by that the questions may begin suspicion and ask why the Yoman scares neither want to reveal everyone first. This creates an emotional scene without needed physical action. Before this is a predictions narrative rather than the dialogue, which matter is the direction of that the confrontation. Thomas will be searching himself and that the memory for the proof about himself, while Ras will be searching Thomas' reaction for the proof about the damage. Both boys will be investigating each other at the same time. The result could be one the same memory. Ras describes something from the childhood that causes Thomas to the visible react. At that the moment Aras may realize he is no longer dealing with the coincidence, Thomas may leave before Aras can stop him because he is not ready to accept when the memory means. This will be the excellent mid-episode turning point. The first we have focused on the clue and the suspicion. The second half will focus on the emotional consequence or releasing that the answer of releasing may ready be standing in front of him. Ras will probably want immediately confirmations. He may search for the medical record or consider a DNA test. Human may refuse because agreeing in the test means admitting that the possibility is the real. His refusal can frustrate Ras, but it will make sense emotionally. Dennis may tell Ras through her the behavior to give Tioman time. She has seen how deeply in the fire and the memories have affected him. Ras might intentionally see her as an adult but later understand that she is protected. Tioman is the healthier way that the adult did. Dennis is not trying to hide that the trust, she is trying to make sure Tioman can survive hearing it. The restrictions may earn Ras respect. The would work together later, but the Dennis helping Tioman emotionally while Ras gets the proof. Sabnam could discover that the cooperation and the panic. She may comfort Dennis and admit that she stay out of family better. Dennis may refuse this because Thomas asking for his help. This is another matter where that the generation loses control. The younger character beginning to choices honesty over inheritance, silence. Hacker may respond more the aggressive. He could other Subnam to remove record from the old houses or making sure a witness leave boardroom. If Ras returns and finds that the place is suddenly empty, he will know somebody is follow his investigations. Instead of stopping him, he may proving him proof and that the clue was important. What will anyone urgently clear and the old houses if there was nothing to the hide? Ras may begin setting a trap. He could pretend out to the belief a false story while secretly watching who react. He may tell one the person that he found a curtain document and that see with the hacker people try to obtain it. This will be a more tragedy side of the Aras. The person who the surprise everyone could be the Sarhat after being taken away before giving Ras that the full information. Sir may realize that the silence has become dangerous for him too. He could find a way to the conflict Ras secretly. Sir may reveal Democrat identity but he will explain why that the trail was the hidden. Perhaps he witnessed and the arrangement involving a child after that the family tragedies. Perhaps he now who trained at the records. Perhaps that he remembers Sabna being connected with the event. If Sahar names Sabna while he immediately look at the trauma differently, he may finally understand why the trauma personal crisis is the happening. At the same time, has this one investigation, other possibilities that the Sarah send a photograph. The photograph may show Damir has the child beside someone from the Kaya family. The face might not clearly prove who Damir become, but another person in the picture could identify that the location or that the date. Leila could recognize that the background. She may remember seeing them the same places in the old family album. This will allow her to contribute something Ras could never discover alone. The partnership between Ras and this Leila can slowly begin. Arranged for investigation. They must still avoid taking about her relationship about that the family. Mysterious is too urgent, but working together can restore that the trust that would could not trust may finally realize that this Layla is stronger than the predictions he tried to give her. Her keeping her away did not make her the saver, it only make her unfinished. Worry now that the trust, but she can perfect himself and help him. The lesson can show that the changing how Ras handles relationship in that the future. Their children thought that the people disappear and that the happening on other crisis pain because of the that he tried to carry every burden alone, but that the series is slowly showing him that desolation is not the same. As this certain Tioman is learning that the opposite lesson, he grew up believing that the very secrecy connected to their family. Now he discovering that the security can be obtained secret. He may begin pulling away from everyone because he no longer know whom to the trust. The two boys are moving toward each other from opposite emotional direction. Ras need to learn how to trust quickly. Family traumas need to learn that one hidden trust does not mean all the family love was the force. If their brother even will eventually help that the other solve that the emotional problem he is the carriers. Ras can show Tioman that the identity survive even when the family history is painful. Humans can show Ras family that the receiving can know from another family does not erase biological connection. Their relationship can become that the central emotional heart of the series before they can happen. Whoever about are they will probably hurt each other. Human may expose Ras of destroying his the life. Ras may accuse Human of not understanding. how lucky he was to grow up with the home. This is feeling will be painful but believable. Ras may look at the Roman childhood and see something everyone he lost. Roman may look at the Ras search and feel guilty for the separation he did not case. Guilt can turn into anger before anger is easier to the carry disease, and this Leila may become that the people who prevent this conflict from going too far. Dennis understands Roman while Leila understands Ral. The two women could separately help that the boy, seeing that the knitter is responsible for one adult decided when they were children. They could eventually increase, bring Janice and Gisela closer as well. They may elicit that they will bow dealing with the young women. They have been shaped by the same hidden path. The dark character meanwhile may begin blaming one another. Sabnam could accuse Hakan of failing to stop Raz. Hakan could accuse Sabnam of making Thomas suspicion through her nervous behavior, and the family members may reveal that they always believed that the trust should have been told earlier, or resentment can surface if it's there. That what happened when the long family secret belong collapsing. People who stay silent for the years suddenly agree who was the responsible. Ask could start this is agreement to learn more. Only adult angers may reverse something accidentally, a sentence identity to the blame another person who confirmed a date or the location as needed. The next episode may therefore end with much more information available at the beginning, but no yet with a peaceful answer. Major clue could establish that the damage survived and they grew up under another identity. Another clue places Human directly in the same place. Human while memory could confirm that their ass was part of his earlier childhood, yet that the final proof may still remain hidden. This allowed that the series to end on the powerful visual movement. Ras and the Human can stand in the old houses connected with the Damir. Thomas may enter because one of his memory led him there, as may already be inside searching. Neither expected that the other saw to be a fair. Thomas could live about that the room, and now every with her something it used to be without nobody telling him. He might fall directly toward a wall, a window, or an old story place before his body remember the place because his mind fully understands it. Rasputin watches him and realizes that the Toman has been there before. Perhaps Toman find and the old object Toman in the place is only someone who lives there could now. The cool object will be the chill hole atom belonging to the Damir. Ras will no longer need someone to explain what he is seen. Thomas might hold the object and experience another memory. The time that the memory could be clear enough to include us, the episode could finish at the exact point, and the ending will not need as a long explanation. The audience will understand that the distance between that the two brothers has almost important and disappear at the greater closer that the alternative theory where Tioman is not damaged. The same scene can still where Tioman could remember damage reading that the object or the taking away from that the house. His memory would that give us that the next location. Either way, Tioman become essential. My stronger prediction remind that the Tioman adoption mystery is directly connected with the damage. There are too many signs moving in the same direction for it to be completely separate story. The timing is especially important. Ras teaches Damir is the only home at exactly that the point Tioman began questioning his identity. Sabnam tried harder to protect him just as Ras become closer to the trust. This development appeared designed to collide. The writer may still create one full misunderstanding before confirmation. Perhaps Yeoman find that the document showing another bird name but that the document is the damaged, but only that the first letter remains. Perhaps Aras believed that the name proof Yeoman is the damaged while Hakan produces another explanations. Hakan explanations may sound confessing enough to create doubt. He could claim Humans was adopted but has no connections with the Aras. This would separated that the two mysterious again for a short time. Ras may almost believe him until one small detail proof Hacker is delaying the detail could one from Tuoman himself. Tuoman may remember Ras' mother or father. A memory of that the parents will be much harder of explain that the shared location. Ras could show Tioman has an old pictures without telling him he is doing it. If Tioman recognizes someone, Ras is will know that the connection is the real. It showed that the moment Ras speak emotionally, he has staying strong through the secret and the rejection between that the search gave him pause. Actual proof could prove that the emotional wall liberated around himself. He may be celebrated. He may see feel that the full weight of the years they Lord finding damage does not return childhood. If does not remember return parents. It does not rest only night in the earth. It does not give that the brother the ordinary air they should have the share. They understand that make that union sad before it make harmful. Together, humans will have its one losses. Even if he gain a brother, he may feel he lost uncertainly. Yesterday, now his the name, his history, and his family story. Even answer may have the change. The series could give our brother space for this is different emotional. Ra's happiness does not require Tioman to immediately be happy. Tioman's fear does not mean he rejects Ras forever. Sabnam love does not rescue Daddy secrecy. Hakan deserves to protect Dad. The family does not give him the right to control Dad. The trust Leila anger does not mean she is stopping loving Aras. Dennis does not speed means she can solve trauma and pay for him. Each character can carry to the emotional at once, and this is where the 17 can become much stronger. The coming story can also changing that the meaning of the series for the Ras. He started with a simple go and find his brother. But as he get closer, he sees that finding a person is easier than understanding everyone that the happened to that the person. Once he knew with the damage, but he want to know where they were separated. Once he learned why, he will want to know. Once he will know, he will want to know where nobody come back for him. Each answer created another question. This is why that the damage rival does not need to end at the center mystery. It can be open a deeper end. The next day may focus on their as parents and that the one that caused the family to break apart. Perhaps the brothers were separated because somebody feared that the keeping them between would reveal something about their parents. They might own an old conflict involving that the entire family that began before Ras was old enough to understand it. If true is this is, Ras could discover that if the arrival in the boardroom was no freedom, his family history man already be tied to the city. Even his confession with Lisa could gone another Leila if their family now each other before that the children were born or when they were children. They will create that the larger long-term story while keeping that the emotional focus on that the young character. For now, however, that the most important thing is the human identity crisis. He must spend that the next episode moving through this similar emotional state. For first will be Daniel, then suspicion, then anger, then fear. Finally, there may be willingness to this side. Dennis will probably be present. This is a table she cannot force him to adapt the trust. Human has to decide it for himself. At first, he may see Seven directly with her he was adopted. If he denies too quickly, he may know she is saying if she becomes emotional without answering that the reaction may tell him even more. He may learn that the housey before he cannot remain around people he suddenly because Danny's school found him alone rather than pushing him to return. She may stay with him until he is ready. This is where the woman can admit that he is afraid only for being adopted. But of the discovering where nobody told him, the fear of the adoption is really that the fear of losing his understanding of himself. Later he may choose to return and serve for proof instead of waiting for another explanation. He could find a lockbox or other envelope containing document connected with his childhood. Sabnam may catch him because he read everything. The struggle over that the envelope that the becomes symbolic. Sabnam want to protect the life they buried. To Manuel want ownership of his part. If she finally give him that the document instead of taking it away, then maybe that the first step toward accepting that the secret cannot survive, but the papers may not only contain part of the trust, it could confirm adoption while leaving that the biological family black their sentiment toward that the next clue and the toward Aras. At the same time, Aras could be finding a document in the damaged old house with information that feel that the missing part of the Tioman's paper each boy will hold half of the same story. It will be a strong way to bring him together naturally. Neither can fully understand his evidence without that the others. Leila may be ones who notice that the matching day Dennis may recognize a named woman has here in his memory. Together, the young four characters could solve when their dull spent Heirs hiding. This rule can shift at the balance of the power in the 17 until now. Adult has the control information in the coming stage. The young character can begin controlling that the trust because they are finally working together. Hack and greatest fear may not be us alone. It may be all of them joining forces. If Sarah stopping protected that the family reputation, Dennis protect Thomas right to now, and the Thomas began sharing his memory with the Ara. Second will have many few pages left to hide that the trust. This is where that the story may reveal that the person above Hakan or before Hakan would naturally make that the decisions, perhaps something order to the separations. Perhaps Hakan was protected that the person someone was giving a children were customs she did not fully understand. This could partially changing how viewers judge her. She may have believed that the child she has no longer family left. If she later learned Aras's history, she may have terrified of losing Toman and the choosing silence. That choices should still be wrong, but that the emotional reason will be believable. Ras may eventually have to decide with her forgiveness is the possible. At first, he will probably say no enough his action. The lost are too long, but that this relationship with the Tioman may teach them the punishment cannot return this is heirs. If exposing everything destroyed Tioman's meaning sense of the family, Ras may eventually choose justice without reward that the development will happen slowly. Not in the next episode, but that the first tent can be planted now. Ras could see Sabnam caring after Tioman rejected and see she truly loved him. She may still be angry but understand that the esoteric knowing that the thief, the emotional completely can prevent that the sea from being predictable. The same apply to the Hakans. Perhaps he wanted to correct that the situation at the fair. Maybe that the person who now were asked what disappeared before he could act. The complete trust and even mistake on every side rather than the one perfect villain. Still, Sakan's present action matters, even if he does not care that the original separation. He is choosing to continue hiding it now. This is why Ras will the judge. The next confrontation between them could therefore be stronger than their earlier crashes. Earlier Ras will be evidence. Not only suspicions, Agnes will see that the simple thing no longer work. He may offer us something in exchange for the stopping. Manik will insult Ras and prove Hakan does not fully understand him. Ras is not searching for the compensation, he is searching for a person. If Hakan insists offer information with conditions, Ras may pretend to the consider while it planning to learn everything immediately. Leila may be freed by fear far of the conflict is the going. She now when Hakan is the capable of what he believes. The family is the threatened. She may insist on staying near us even if the romantic problem remain unsolved. This can show that the love is still present without forcing any immediately discernations. Ras may finally accept her help instead of the pushing her away. That one decision could mean more than a romantic speed because it proves he is standing. He may hand her with a copy of the evidence and trust her to keep it safe for us. Sharing his investigation is the sharing that the most vulnerable part of himself. Leila will understand that the importance of the trust. Their bond may quietly begin healing. The episode could balance this emotional hearing against your relationship with the Sabnam breaking apart. As one relationships learn honesty and others suffer because honesty comes too late. Their countries will fit that the larger theme of the story. Secret do not only hide at the past, they shape at the present. Ras and this Leila can still do the choices their partners Sabram and the Tomar must deal with the pattern that has existed for the year. The final member may bring every storyline to the same location. Ras followed Demi Trail, Tioman followed childhood memories. Leila followed Ras because she refused to remain outside that the trust. Dennis followed Tioman because she now that she should not feel that the memory alone sacrifices with everyone is going and they try to stop them. Someone understand that the moment she fear has finally arrived, all of them can meet at the same house. The place will become more than a clue. It will present at the point where past and the present collide. Thomas may recognize that the interiors before everyone tell him where they are. Several faces may reveal panic. Ras will notice about the reaction. Thomas will look inside a memory return. He reaches a room and now something should be there. Perhaps he now too many small beds. Perhaps he remember a drawings. Perhaps he remember reading with another child. Ras watching him and understand. Human turned toward Ras with the fear then the happiness. The reaction can tell Ras everything. Hackens arrive, but it is too late. The secret is no longer only in the documents Hackens can hide. It now exists in the Thomas' memory and Ra's understanding. Even if nobody confirmed that, the full trust in that the moment, the relationship between every character changing, Ras will no longer see Thomas that the same way. Thomas will no longer see himself that the same way. Savnam will now silence as the face. Leila will understand why her the family fear aroused investigation. Dennis will understand why Thomas' reaction to the fire was so deep. Hakan will understand that cannot has ended. The episode could close before everyone said that the final answer, leaving that the audience with the strongest possible expectation for what happened next. For that the prediction video, this is where that the story becomes especially excited. The important question is no longer with Haras, is he getting close? He is already at the door of that. The trust, the important question is what that the trust will not be everyone once it becomes impossible to the deny. Finally, damn it may not be moment Haras dream about for the years, but dream usually do not include coincidence. Can he imagine Onion? He probably did not imagine another mother terrified of losing that the same brother. People he imagined finding his brother. He did not imagine that his brothers might have another name, another family, another life, and no clear memory of him. Imagine trust bearing pieces. He does not imagine trust creating a crisis for the person he believed loved most. The most important expectations and reality can become that the strongest emotional part of the 17. Ras will have to decide what kind of another brother he wants to be. Does he damage everything immediately because that the air was taken from him, or does he put damage emotional need but he won't deserve for the union? The mature choice will be difficult if damage is the humans. He may need distance, Ras may hide at the distance, but giving it proof is the life more than holding on the tightly. Human will also face a choice. Does he learn from that the new identity because it defeated him, or does he follow allowed to learn about Ras? And the parents here may barely remember. Samla may decide with her to keep fighting that the trust or the help to understand it. Hacker may decide with her protected that the secret serious everyone. Leila might decide how far she is willing to the challenge at the family. Dennis might decide how to support Roman without making easy choices for him. Every important character will be forced to the choosing something. This is where that the next episode can become one of the more important stage of the series even without giving every answer. The strongest story do not only reveal information, they force character to react to information in ways that they change them. As greater envelope may begins when his search family succeed for their searching allow him to follow focus on that the future one that the search and he will have to the face his grief. He can no longer doubt himself. Everyone will be fixed. When he finds damage, he will understand that something cannot be fixed. Their parents will still be gone. Their childhood will still be lost. The heirs apart cannot be returned. But new heirs can still be created. This realization can eventually give us PC to Amamia so that the learning discovery another family does not realize that the one that tries him he can be damaged and the trauma at the first time if this is name represent another part of his life. He does not have to the choices one identity and destroy that the other. The understanding may come much later, but that the struggles begins now. The next episode will probably leave him in the painful state before acceptance. He may look at the Subnam and see about his brother and the person who hid his the past. He may look at the Ras and see about a possible brother and that the person this is arrival destroy his certainly. He may look at the daddies and see that the only purple by the old secret. This is why Danish sport can become so vulnerable. As may experience someone similar with this Leila, they can look at the hacker and see he has an obstance. He can look at the Kaya family and see people connected with his suffering. But Leila is difficult because she is a part of that the world. While also choosing him, her position proved that the people are not responsible for every secret described by their family. This may help Ras avoid turning his anger against everyone connected with their Kayas. He may finally separate individual choices from the family name. This is an important step from his character. The old houses may also contain information about Ras, information that is never accepted. Especially one childhood record where changed for that the name he remembered for an event is not that the official's names. Perhaps there were another person trying to find him years ago. This could create a new mysterious after about damage. Someone may have the time to renege that the brother but was stupid. Ras could find an old letter addressed to him that he never received. The letter may contain a promise from a relative for a garden. If so, Ras will realize that he was not completely forgotten. This could heal one of the deepest emotional wounds even while creating another mysterious about why the message never reaches him. Hacker may not know about that the father. This will promise that they are the secret even he does not control. The latter story could then expect beyond that the Kaya family. A formal official social worker family friend can become important. Ras could learn that the trust was divided among several people. This will keep that the prediction story fresh instead of repeating that the story same conflict with Hackens every week. The coming phase can therefore use that the damage question as a doorway into the complete history of Ra's family, but before that, the larger mystery is open. The emotional trust between Ras and the Toman need to be developed. My prediction is that the next episode will give us enough evidence to make the connection very strong, but may stop just before complete legal confirmation. This creates that the best balance viewer receive process. This story avoid another week where Aras simple fail to define anything, yet there is still room for the tension. The worker can focus on the reaction in the following story rather than stating that identify mysterious too long. A DNA test or the official record can eventually confirm that the memory already suggested. The more important drama will be what happened afterward. If human is the damage, finally get the answer to the question that began his the journey, but that the series gain a new questions. Can to the brother who need up in the difficult world create a real relationship now? Ras now hardships, instructions, uncertainty, and fighting for every answer to woman now another kind of life with difficult relationship and the expectation. They may share blood, but they have a difficult possibility. But life shape is it separately. This can create conflict without requiring another villain. They may disagree about Hakan and the Subnam. Ras may want consequence, Homer may want to protect that the people who rise him. Ras might interrupt that healthy betrayal. Homer might feel Ras is asking him to destroy one family to the proof loyalty to another. This is a powerful long-term conflict because neither side is completely wrong. Eventually, they must understand that the brotherhood does not require identical feeling about that. The partners can remain angry with the adult while respecting Toman's love for them. Toman can love Sarabna while accepting that Raz was deeply hurt. But trust can exceed Leila and the Dennis can help them reach that the point. For now, the next episode can end while they are still far from that. The manipulating the trust will lie before they are emotional ready. This is why it will be dramatic. The last image may show Aras realizing that the person he has is searching for is closer than her belief. Thomas may be hiding that the object from his memory. Sabna may be unable to continue denying that the best. Ras Hacker may understand that whenever he does not cannot return that the secret to the silent. Leila may stand beside Ras, finally inside that the trust he once kept for the years. Danny may stand between Thomas, giving him that the only stable connection he can trust in that the moment no one need to the celebrate. That scene can be filled with the show because that the answer changed too much. This scene can be filled with show because that the answer changed too much. This is the directions I expect as 17 to take. The previous story was about casing rules while powerful people staying one step ahead. The next story can reverse that the situation. Ras and the humans can now that the ones moving faster than that the adult's memory and the evidence are joined together. Sabnam Fair is exposing why she hoped to the perfect hacker attempt to control Ras are confronting that Ras is looking in the cracked pieces. Layla doubt are turning in her one search for answer. Danny's concern is helping Tom and face memory. He would rather avoid the secret is the surrounded from every direction. There is the almost never left it to the hand. The main prediction for this session is that the damaged old home will become that the most important location. In Aras' investigation so far, when he discovered there will be simply tell him where his brother want. If he want his personal service with the Toman hidden childhood and with the fair's villain. Thomas adopted questions will grow from the private doubt into that the serious investigation. Dennis will stand with him but that the trust between emotionally difficult Sela will slowly move from the feeling exploding by the rush to becoming an active part of the search. Hakan's one attempt to stop Daddy trust but discovered that his insularity is weaker now because Daddy young character has started finding evidence independently. More importantly, Ras may finally understand that finding them is not that the finish line he imagined. He is the beginning of a much more difficult journey. He is searching for a brother. He may find a stronger stranger carrying his brother past. He is searching for the answer. He may discover decisions that make his anger that uncontainably evade. He searches for the family. He may be forced to learn that the family is not only determined by the blood, paperwork, or the people who rise. A family he also determined by the relationship people choices to the build. After that, the trust is the hidden. They done made choices for us and the damage where they were children. Now the boys are old enough to make their one choice. They will be real turning point of the 17. The moment they understand that the trust, they can finally decide what it means. Nobody else can divide it for them. Anyone. Hakan cannot divide with her deserve her brother. Sabnam cannot decide with her Tioman deserve to know with the biological past. All record cannot decide whether that the brother will accept each other. Fair cannot decide whether Sela stay beside the past created that the problem, but that the young character will decide that the future. And this is why everyone may change one era's world toward that the door of the damaged old home. He believes he is entering a building to find another clue. In reality, he may be entering that the places where that the two halves of the story finally meet. One half belongs to the boy who determined and he keeps searching. The other belongs to the boy who forgot and he is now only beginning to remember. When these two parts come closer, the secret then she survive for the years may finally collapse. When that if the collapse us will get closer even to the brother to be refused to stop looking for while Tioman may discover that the memory frightened him as not random pieces of one nightmare at all. They may be pieces of the life that was taken away from him. The next episode can therefore closer with Ras closer to the damage, Theoman's closer to the true past, Sela closer to the understand, Dennis closer to becoming Theoman's strongest expert, but that the adult closer to facing that of every secret they protected. But getting closer to the trust will not make life earlier. It will make every relationship harder, but it also any of them stronger. This is exactly why the story ahead has the potential to be more emotional, more dangerous, and more important than everyone else has faced until now. In the next episode of Daha 17, the greatest dangers may no longer come from us searching for that the trust. The real dangers may become after survival. People understand that is finally close enough to discover it. Until now, Hakan and the other adult has been able to control that the situation by moving people, hiding information, changing plans and keeping that the younger character away from the difficult detail. The matter worked because Raz was also searching from that the outside. He now that his brother Damir existed, but he did not know exactly which part of the Kaya family past was connected with him. Tioman also lived without questioning that the story of his childhood. Zealous now that her family carried secret, but she did not understand how deeply this secret were connected with their past. Now he will all three young characters are belonging to the more toward that the same hidden history. One that the happen the adult will find is much harder to keep control. One person can be stopped, but several people asking difficult questions can expose a secret very quickly. The previous development has trained us in a difficult way. At first, is this served by controlling almost completely. We hope he wanted to believe that if he follow enough clue, he want to eventually find them and everyone inside him will become peaceful again. Now he's beginning to understand that the finding them may not create peaceful at the all. The information around all his brother is connected with the life, fear, all decision. And people who clearly do not want him to know that the full story, that the Miras is no longer preparing only for the reunion, he is preparing to discover why that the reunion was presentative for so many years. The difference can make him more careful. Instead of the running toward every clue without thinking, she may begin asking what that will happen after he proved that the trust he now happen with the reality. Now Sela may become between him and her family. Now that the person he made many have to live an interior life without knowing that trust was looking for him. Tioman's growing questions can make the situation even more dangerous. If Tioman began to seriously believe that he was adopted, he will no longer accept his simple family explanation. He may spark study to the child was using to the search for the damage. This creates a powerful parallel between them. Ras is searching for the someone else in order to understand his the family. Tioman is the searching himself in order to the understand that the same hidden past. Ras look at the address, witness or connection, and people who did disappear before answering him. Thomas looked at the memories, photograph, missing ears, and the certain behavior of the adult around him. They are using different part, but both part may have toward one the answer. If Thomas is connected directly with the damage, that the trust will almost impossible to the hide before it will exist. Not only in the old document but also in sealed documents, one might the file can play a much larger role than the simply being another dangerous. Even if the story for trauma, it may become that the reason that the forgotten pieces of the childhood return. Trauma does not always return as a complete memory. Sometimes it comes through the wall, a smell, a room, or the color, or a feeling that made no sense until another detail appeared. Thomas may be an experienced malfreshing for a period he does not remember clearly. He could remember being inside an unfamiliar building. He may remember another child standing near him. He might remember Angel telling him that everyone would be different for that the day forward. At first, none of this is image will give him a complete answer. Instead, they will make his the confession versus he will wonder where his mind is giving his the real memory of create another connection. Because of the recent fire, this uncontainedly can make Tioman more impatient with the Semnum. He may be asking questions. He has the fear for the heirs. He may want to know where they are so clear detail about his earlier childhood. He might ask where photograph was taken or why nobody even speaks about particulars. Here, Sabna may try to answer calmly, but Thomas will probably notice if her the emotion do not match her the world. Appearance can hide are difficult, but fear is harder to the hide. Thomas may see her as adoption nervous with her is the mean adoption, damage, aras, or and all places. He may begin understanding that the real answer is hidden inside when she refuses to the discuss. Sabdom's greatest problem made that her the love for the Thomas make her believe in exactly that the way they increase his suspicion. If she truly lies him and see him completely as her sense the possibility of losing his trust that terrify her. She may believe that the telling that the trust will destroy that relationship they build. Because of that the fear she could delay that the confessions again. She may tell herself that the woman is emotionally unstable after that the why and need more time. Some may believe that waiting a new day in protected rather than the deception, but every extra hours of the silence can make that the mental trust more painful. To others may realize that she has survival changing to tell him everyone and still closes not to do it. The problem will then become larger than the adoption. It will become a question so whether he can trust that the person he can hurt his mother. Hacker will probably see that the situation differently where Sabnam react emotionally. Hackers may react strategically. He understands that Ras has already refused to leave that the mysterious alone. Threatening him, not work, separated him from the witness, has no work. Keeping information inside that the Kaya family has not work. If Thomas now begin investigating from inside that the family. Hackers may feel that the control disappear from the board decision. It should make him more dangerous before people who are used to the controlling situation often make their void decision when they fear slipping away. Hacker may decide that one final strong action is necessary. He could try to remove evidence, send someone's way, create a false explanation, or make Ras believe that if the damage trail has ending somewhere else. The problem from Hacker is that there is someone harder to the toll every attempt to move him from a clue that thought is something. If an old house suddenly becomes empty, Ras will not simply assuming her while nothing there. She will ask who now he was coming. If a witness suddenly changed the story, he will understand that somewhere it is that the person first if I can provide an answer to the easily. Ras may wonder why a man who refused to help has suddenly become cooperative. Ras is learning that the lies are not only hidden inside world, they can also be seen in the timing, fear, and the unusable behavior. This makes that the next phase of this are more interesting because Ras can become using hacker reaction as the evidence. Ras may even decided to stop telling people exactly when he knows he'll stop openly confronting. Second, every time he finds something, he would back part of the information. This would be a major changing in his behavior. Earlier anger only pushes him to reveal how close he was that the trust. Hackers could prove that the reacted before Ras has enough proof. Now Ras can family understand that silence can something be useful. However, this creates another problem because Zela has already been hurt by his secrecy. Ras may become better at the hiding information from hacker while accidentally making Layla feel that he is hiding information from her against Layla. Her choices can therefore become extremely important. She has reached a point where she cannot remain only at this situation, people waiting for the right to decide with her. She deserves to the now she care about him deeply. But she also fears her relationship with the Kaya family. If Raj's investigation is connected with the people she trusts, Layla need to discover that the trust and the my prediction is what will bring investigator independently. She may not tell herself first because she wants to understand which his suspicions are the correct before she deeply open against her one family. They will place Ella in a much larger position in the story instead of the being trapped between romance and the family loyalty. She can become an active person searching for the answers. Stella may begin with the simple thing that Ras cannot easily access. She could let's look family photograph or massive storybox document or the memory connected with the people who visited their Kaya's home many years earlier. Something that they look ordinary to the Ras, whom immediately feels a trend to for this Leela because she now that the former normal habit. She may notice that one the AS is missing for the similar album. She could remember a room that was suddenly locked when she was younger. She might listen that the Sebnam and the Hakan has always reacted strangely to an old name. Of this detail would be enough alone, but together they could show Tioman Sela has been cracked to distract that the story he was given. The discovery would hurt Leila in a difficult way from the Ras. Ras already expects painful adult to the hide things. Leila grew up believing that even when the family made mistakes that were contained line, they will be crossed. If she discovered that the child was separated from her brother and that the trust was deliberately hidden, she may begin questioning everyone she shouted him about that the adult around her. Her anger may become less focused on Ras and more focused on the people who created that the situation. She could finally understand why he found it too difficult to trust anyone connected with the Akaya. However, it does not mean Leila will immediately forgive Ras for keeping that outsider. His investigation, understanding someone react is not that the same as accepting every choice they made. Leila may still believe that Ras should have trusted her dishonor. The difference is that their conflict can mature. Instead of the arguing about whether he loved her, she can bring discussing when the trust actually requires us will need to accept that this Leila can make her one decision. Leila will need to accept that this some information carries consequence bigger than a relationship. If they learn from this, their bond can become much stronger, but it was before. Dennis will experience a similar transformation through the torments until now. She may have the wanted merely to comfort him and help him through a difficult moment. In the next phase, comfort may not be enough. Torments could begin asking to the help search for the evidence. Dennis may intentionally hesitate because investigating another family past can be dangerous, especially when the hacker is involved. Yet she may also elicit that refusing to help with the lift romance alone with this thought they are becoming more frightened every day. She can decide that knowing that the trust is safer than allowing him to create alibi possibility inside his mind. Dennis may become that the person who notices and the important connection before Tioman does. Before she is standing slightly outside his family, she can see partner only clear. Tioman may describe and chill her memory without knowing what it mattered. Dennis might remember her describing someone similar about the damage. She should notice that the some boy react to the same location or remember that the same detail. At first, she may convince herself that if the coincidence but has the most similarities appear, she will be forced to consider that the possibility that Ras and the Tioman's part of the same story. This realization will place Dennis in the dull position because she cares about the damage and also now important damage is so Aras. If she tells Aras to earlier, she is fit and human, exposing him before he is ready. If say nothing, She becomes another person building information from there as the writer can use this diploma to show how complicated trust becomes when the people care about that this is may be hurt by it and is understand that the difference between hiding information for the personal control and delay information because someone need emotional protection. Still, May will now that she cannot delay forever. Tioman may eventually discover that the Danny spent somewhere she could tell betrayal for the long time, but it also survival because sensitive to the secret, even a small irritation from the nannies must look life proof that everyone know more about his life that he does. This is where Darius will need to be completely open with him. She may explain that her the action she will never wanted to Claude that the trust she wanted him to be the first person with the right to decide if it happens now. The difference can save the relationship. Ras may also being notices Tioman differently. The more he learns about the damaged past, the more familiar detail he may see in the Tioman. This do not have to be obsessed with physical similarity. They could be habit, reaction, fear, or weight of the thinkings, but the will separate up can become very important. But some small behavior may still feel stronger familiar as could remember damage more afraid of a particular sound has the dread and see later to react to it. She may remember how the damage has is something when the nervous and recognized at the same moment. Some details will be mostly powerful because they are not that the kind of the proof hacker can easily explain why. Still must illustrate that the confusion at the first hope has disappeared him too many times. If he allow himself to believe Tioman is the damage and that the discover he is wrong. The emotional damage could be enormous for that the moment Ras may become totally distant from the torment. Just when he begins expanding that the strongest connection torment could mislead that the distance and the assume or dislike him is anger with her. In reality, Ras may simply be afraid of flowing his heart to move faster than that the evidence. This creates a very difficult enemy between the two boys. Early conflict comes from the competition, misunderstanding, or their positions could after another character. Now, every ordinary moment can become heavy because Ras may be looking at the Thomas and wondering he is seeing his brothers. Thomas may look at the Ras and feel an explained family tree created. By returning memory, neither will how to the behave naturally. Their scene can become quieter but become more powerful, meaningful. At the same point, your memory remember that the drug damage without another family directed toward him why it mattered. It would be one of the stronger possible development. Perhaps that the same appear in the dream or come to him while looking to an old object. He may immediately connect it with him himself. He could feel that the same belonged to somebody important from his earlier childhood. When he later started speaking about his brother Damit, the memory could become impossible to ignore. Thomas might him become researching Raz without telling him. This reveals that the situation completely for most of the series. Raz has been searching for the damage now that the person who may be damaged could become searching for the information about the Raz. Humans may ask about their parents, his childhood, the tragedy that disappeared the family and that the followed that the heirs. Each answer adds the treated another small memory. The more he learns about Raz, the more frightened he becomes because that the story began feeling less somebody else's life and more like his one forgotten past. This emotional reaction could be complicated by the guilt if trauma elicits that Raz spent years searching while he lived without remembering him. He may feel responsible enough he was only the child and has no control over what happens. He could look at everyone he was going and comparing it with Ara's life is an institution. The comparison may make him feel a scammy of immediately moving closer to the Aras. Guilt may case him up, pull away. He may believe that Ras will resist him for having a difficult childhood. Ras could intensely him jealousy when he learned how the Thomas grew up. This would not make him the cruel. It would make him the human. He may see family photographs. But the school memories and the home where Thomas he feel love. Ras could think about all the memories he experienced without his parents or brother. For a few years he might feel that the Thomas received that the life that should have the belonging to both of them allowed me hate himself for thinking it because he now Thomas was not responsible. Yet feeling do not always follow logic. This emotional conflict can become one of the strongest parts of the story. Finding Damir was pointing to the hill last orders found but that Durina may fall show his everything he lost. He should receive that she was not searching. Damir was going into another person with another family. Ras cannot speak that they take people back to the childhood they shared. The brother he remembered not only longer exists in the same form. Ras will have to learn to have that the person Damir because rather than only the child he remembered. Humans will feel that the opposite challenge he feels damage him and need to accept that the person he believes himself to be the false but incomplete. His current identity contains real friendship, real memories, real love and real experience. Discovering another name does not erase this is here. However, doing that the first show they may not understand this. He could believe that he have to choosing between being Thomas and the being damaged. The belief may cause him to reject Ras because accepting Ras seemed like rejecting that the family who rise in Subnam reacting can make his fear worse if she believes as so Ras is trying to take Tioman away. She might see every meeting between him as a threat. She could attempt to remind Tioman of everything she has done for him, hoping that trade would keep him close. But they made Tioman feel even more the traps have become painful when it is presentation at the depth if Subnam truly wanted to protect their bond. She will eventually need to allow Tioman to learn about his biological family without making him feel guilty. The next episode may feel Subnam failing to understand this is at first. Fear can make her controlling. She might try to stop Subnam from the meeting Aras. Take away a document so insists that he leave boardroom for a while. Tioman may react strongly because he no longer the small child who can be moved without explanation. Every attempt to control him, the remind that adult once made his changing decision when he was no voice. He may decide that nobody will make such a decision for him again. The movement could become Tioman's biggest step in independence. He may live that the chaos environment temporarily not because he has stopping inside his family, but because he needs peace where his fear cannot. His thought Dennis can help him find somewhere safe. Ras might overhelp, but Thomas could refuse the bluff. He is not ready to depend on him either. This will show that the Thomas need to understand himself before deciding what relationship he wants with everyone else. Second, could see Thomas living as he proved that Ras has already damaged the family. His anger toward may become stronger than the evil. He may refuse Araso, bringing choices into live there was stable before his arrival. From Hakan point of view, they may feel true before Aras come to the boredom. The secret way quietly to and did not question. His childhood Leila do not openly challenge family decisions. Sabna may not fear losing her this son, but Hakan will fear to understand that silence is not the same as the stability. The problem always existed. Aras simply focus them into the light. Ras could respond to the hacker differently this time rather than losing control. He may remain climbing because he finally understands that the hacker anger comes from the fear. The chain will surprise his hacker. Ras may stop trying to defect him through the louder confrontation and cease focus on the fact. He may make it clear through his action that he is not leaving until he understands that happened to the damaged session may release that the old method no longer fit on him. The conflict more than become more the physiological. Second could try to the confess Ras as knowing that the trust will destroy Thomas. He may agree that the brother who loved truly damaged protect that the damage was only has. The argument can affect Ras because you're using his deepens love against him. Ras may be wondering with her continue that the search is selfish now that it is possible answer has the life of his while the human is happy. Does Ras has to the right to become another changing? The questions can the terrible answer for much of the episode. They may consider stepping away for the first time not because Hakan reflected him but because he does not want his brother to the suffer. This will be an enormous emotional shift. Yes, Leila may help you understand that hiding that the trust is no protection. Human has already begun asking questions that the damage now comes from emotionally and the deception. Ras cannot decide for the human sweeter that the result trust is too painful. Doing so, he repeat that the same mistake that the adult made. Leila can be therefore before that the people who give us that the courage so continue in the more responsible way. She may remind him through her the action that if the woman deserves choice, does not need to force are responsible of expose everything publicly. He could only need to make sure the woman has his succeed for the trust when the woman does with the trust must be with decision. The idea could guide us that the rest of the story. At the same time, Sarah may comfort Hakan directly. She may no longer accept explanation based on protected that the family. She has found evidence himself. Hakan cannot easily dismiss us as an outsider creating trouble. Sarah is a part of the family and her question will be much harder to avoid. She may admit to know what happened years ago and why somebody asked to spend so long searching when somebody appearing now more hackers may reveal a partial explanation to Slela that he refused to the give Ras. He could believe he will understand that the family reason insists that the information may push her further toward Ras. Perhaps I can explain that the adult through the separation the boy was necessary. After that the dangerous even may be one the child needing protection or the someone connected with the family believable that the brother will be safer if nobody now whereabout of them where Leila may understand that the original fear but she still reject that the decision to continue the life for the heirs. The partial confessions could give viewer the news layer without solving everything. We may learn that the secret began during a crisis rather than the planning act of the clerk. A dangerous situation may have forced a dad to make every fast decision. One brother could have been placed with another family temporarily later that the temporary arrangement become more the difficult by the years. By the time everyone considered fisking that the situation about boys has already been different life. If there is the true hacker may genuinely believe he the protected them but Ras will ask why has nobody protected him. The questions may have been possible for the hacker to the answers. Perhaps Rasis was reporting to be moved as well, but something happens. Maybe record were lost, maybe that the person responsible disappears. Perhaps someone wrongly him. The first explanation could revert that the heirs of the loneliness were scarce not to the one evil plan. By a chain of bad decisions and the silence, Ras may find such a explanation even harder to the escape. Ras is simple when there is no clear enemy. If there is the more difficult who suffering comes from the several people who each one decision they believe was responsible at the time. Ras cannot fight and the interior change of the mistake. He can only decide when he now to do now. This may slowly move his story from the revenge toward healing. Before healing is the possible, however, that the trust about the damage need proof. The episode may bring that the character toward a biological test, an official record or a witness who can confirm when the memory already suggests. Thomas might intentionally refuse this and test because he feared that the result later he could change his mind after another memory turned that the decision to seek proof should belong to him rather than the being forced for their ask. The decision to seek proof should to be the lesser rather than the main focus of their art. This will show that the younger characters are finally taking control of their one history. The DNA test will create strong tension because when it is taken, everyone must wait for an answer that could change several lives during that the waiting period. Thomas may believe has thrown nothing matter while secretly thinking about that the result every minute. Ras may predict to be climbed but becoming unable to focus on the anyone else. Abna may fake conversations. Hackers may consider interfering with the process. Leila and the Dennis may become that the only people trying to keep evidence from destroying their relationship. Before that the answer even arrives, hackers attempt to change a result will be possible, but it might make the story too simple if every come from the direct manipulation. A more interesting direction will be for the hacker to have that the opportunity to interfere and that the choice is not to. This will even understand that the secret reaches at the end. He made his life when it is happening what illicit that the another's life will only make that the final destruction was. Such a voices may give hacker more intentionally compares and prepare him for the eventually explain that the best abnorms might not always for the some expectation. She may secretly hope that the result. Proof Thomas is not dummy. He fear